Hey everyone, this is Stephen Strawn at Cast Iron Cookware, where you can find information to help you better collect, restore, and use cast iron cookware. Today we're going to talk about cast iron organizers, and we're going to be doing that coming right up. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has purchased my product, Easy Beasy Cast Iron Seasoning. The purchase of this product helps keep this channel going, and I just want to say thank you so very much. Now let's get on into the video. I have seen quite a few different versions of cast iron organizers. This is one, and this big boy right here is another, and we have a smaller version right here. So we're going to take a look at them, and we're going to start with the smallest one first. So we'll pull the camera down and just take a look at how well they work with the cast iron. Now this is the first one, and it is probably my favorite one. It is heavy duty. It's got large pieces of metal. It doesn't move, and it's just welded really well, really solid. It's got a little rubber base right here to kind of keep it from skidding around, but it kind of keeps it in place. I mean, it's solid, and you can put even the big skillets on here. Now this is a Birmingham Stove and Range number 14, and it will go both ways, and it is sturdy, and it's not going anywhere. You're not able to put the chicken fryer in there with the lid on it. So if you're gonna store both pieces, you'll have to put them in there like that and take up two separate spots. And the same goes for doing them horizontally. They will go either way, and that's nice and solid. You can also you can double stack a few pieces, or even triple stack if you got smaller pieces. Of course, we have the Big Daddy right here. It will actually fit. Of course, I would probably want to put the Big Daddy on the bottom, but it's really solid and it's not any movement whatsoever. Now your chicken fryer is not going to fit on any other slot except for the one on the bottom. I wouldn't suggest putting them upside down because they will slip off, but there we go. This is the first one, and I probably like this one the best. So let's take a look at another version of the rack. And here's our second installment right here. I'm not really sure who makes this one. You can see these on Amazon. I will leave a link to all three versions that I'm showing today in the video description, just in case you want to check out those on Amazon. This one right here is a little more flimsy than the first installment, but you just have to be careful when you're putting the pieces on. Now these actually interchange. We have these little pieces that come out and they're spring loaded. You squeeze them together and pop them in these little slots down the side, and you can choose what size you have. Now it's pretty solid if it's even, but if you have everything stacked on one side, you're going to have issues. But we'll go ahead and start with loading this thing up. We'll go ahead and put our chicken fryer on the bottom. What I like about this one right here is you can put a chicken fryer in there with the lid on it. So I'm going to offset this and put a large piece on the opposite side. Now this is going to stabilize it a good bit. So there we go. We have all of these pieces on there, and it's fairly solid. You don't want to shake it around too much because they will slide off. These are all metal. Now I have seen some that have a little rubber piece on top of it that helps a little bit with the sliding, but I believe as long as you have it sitting on your countertop, you're going to be fine. Now this one is also designed in a way that you can take all the racks off of one side and place them on the other side. This one has a little extra support in the middle to kind of strengthen it up. The welds seem to be pretty good. And you just squeeze and pop them in. There we go. And you have enough to hold, you know, a couple of big pieces and 3 or 4 smaller pieces. One good thing about it is there are adjustments that you can make. Of course, we could put our lid separately, or we could leave it on the piece and slide it right in there just like that. As far as sturdiness, this is sturdy. You know, there's a lot of weight on here, more weight than you want to pick up, because this big boy is heavy by itself. So this in here is pretty good in a horizontal mode. Not so good vertically on one side. I would say unusable vertically on one side. You want to make sure you got both sides filled and evenly balanced. Okay, for our third installment, we have this one that has an extension on top, and it does have a little wobble. Now, this piece slides right out. So you basically have 2 individuals, or you can put them together and make an extension. If you want to do individuals, you can just lay them down. Just like that, and you'll have 2 in one. So you have 2 individuals or an extended piece. And the way these go together, it just slides in. And the little side pieces, once they go through the holes, that is actually what holds it together. That is like the pins. One thing I like about this particular kit is there is a rubber covering on the ends. It's still kind of slick. You know, the cast iron will still slide on it a little, but it does help a little bit with slippage. And it is a little quieter. We'll go ahead and start with the Big Daddy on the bottom. It's number 14 Birmingham Stove and Range. We're going to put our Dutch oven in with the lid. And you see we kind of got this whole leaning thing going on. You almost feel like you're playing a game of Jenga. Now, it will hold it up, but there is some movement there. And if you look at it, if you got a lot of weight on one side, it's going to be the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It's going to lean one way or the other. Now, it's going to hold the pieces, but you're not going to feel nearly as secure as you do with the other one. Now, as far as laying this thing horizontal, you have a lot of spaces here, and there's room to put a lot of pieces. So we're going to go ahead and start off with our big Birmingham Stove and Range. We can put a couple of griddles in here in the smaller slots. Now, the little number 3, it's going to sit on the ground. A number 5, which is the most common for people for cornbread, it's going to sit on the ground as well. And if you're going to put one of these in here, you're going to have to put it toward the middle so it'll have something to catch on. I'm sure the number 3, you're going to have an issue there. And there we go. But it's still going to be sitting on your countertop and not be suspended. So for number 3, you have a little bit of an issue. At number 5, you have a little bit of an issue. You're going to be sitting on your countertop. Okay, at number 6 will do just fine. It'll be suspended off of your countertop. But a number 3 and a number 5 will not. And there we go. We have a pretty good horizontal system. It's heavy, but it's going to hold up really well. This will work fine. But I do say the smaller pieces have some issues. So at this point, you can use it as 2 horizontal pieces, and it'll work just fine. You can turn it sideways. Or long ways on your countertop. Okay, just as a recap, I would say this one right here is my favorite one altogether. Now, if you want one that can hold more, just get 2 of them. Now, they won't stack together, they won't connect together, but you can put them both horizontal or vertical, and it's solid, it's going to hold up, you're not going to have any issues. Now, these here are a little more flimsy, and I would rather go with a single unit. It does have a little teeter-totter to it, and you have to balance your pieces and, you know, not just stack them all on one side because it will collapse on you. But one thing about these, there is some adjustability that I like. Now, the third version is very tedious. There's a lot of adjustability, but you cannot put them on one side. It will just collapse. You'll have to balance it left and right. Of course, this will work great horizontally, but this is not my personal preference. Yes, it holds a lot more cast iron. I'm just saying my personal preference is the first one with a heavier gauge wire. If I was going to use it in a kitchen, I would probably go ahead and lay it down horizontally and use it that way. But overall, this one is the big winner. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video and got something out of it. And if you have, please do not forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I promise I'll keep more videos coming. You can check out Cast Iron Cookware on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Check out the Cast Iron Cookware Facebook group. It's full of people who love cast iron, love sharing and connecting. And I just want to say thank you again for watching Cast Iron Cookware. Before we go, I just want to share something with you really quickly. In Proverbs chapter 18, verse 10, it says, "The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and is safe." I just want to say, share the word and be a blessing.